How was it, Emily?
How was what?
Your new job, how was the environment and stuff? Was it alright?
You worry too much. I'm still trying to memorize everything I need to do.
I guess so. But it's your first job in a while, right? I'm just worried that something might have happened.
Work is hard for everyone, you know. Besides, we communicate by text, so it's quite convenient. Even me, the deaf person, can get by. I mean, it might be because of the times, but it's nice that there's a way to communicate with each other even with masks on.
I see! That must be nice, I guess.
Also, the person I work with loves dogs. We had a lot of fun talking about them. I even showed her a picture of our dog Sumi.
Already slacking off at work, are we? Well, I'm glad the workplace environment seems friendly.
Yep, I'm just glad I'm able to work again on design.
I'm happy for you. I was feeling kind of guilty that you had to quit your previous job just because I found a new one and had to move. Especially since it seemed that you got along with your colleagues so well at your previous company. But it looks like things will go well. Finding a new job was hard, wasn't it?
It's not your fault, Jacob. My number one priority is to be with you. That's what makes me happy.
Thanks! I too am just glad that I'm able to spend every day with you, Emily.
Oh, it's time for me to eat lunch. See you later.
Got it. Have fun today, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for inviting me to your house, Emily. Sumi was so cute. Dogs are such treasures, aren't they?
Thanks for coming today, Kimberly. Sumi looks so happy getting to play with someone. Come and visit anytime you like.
Well, if you say so, I think I'll come visit you every week. Your cooking was so good. I'll make sure to tell everyone at work.
I wanted to thank you for helping me at work always. I'm deaf, so I can't speak very well either. We mostly communicate by text, but still, there are times when we have to speak, right? It's a real help to have you at times like that. Even today, we had to rely on our smartphones to communicate. Thanks for spending some time with me even though it had nothing to do with work.
Don't worry about it. You helped me sometime at work, right? By the way, you're so lucky to have such a handsome husband. I was even taken aback when I first saw him. He even works at a famous company, right? I couldn't ask for the two of you right in front of me, but how did you two meet?
We met through a mutual friend. I don't deserve such a kind husband, right?
Yep, you're disabled after all. He's such a kind person, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. I just thought that someone like him could get any girl he wanted. I'm not saying that you're not fit to be his wife or anything.
It's fine. It's not like this is new to me.
Really? You're not mad? I shouldn't have called you disabled, right? Should I have said person with disability or person with special needs instead? Sorry, I really don't understand all the politically correct stuff, you know.
I really don't mind. Some places call me a person with special needs and others call me disabled, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, I see. People like that are so strict with names, aren't they? I thought that I might have insulted you by using the wrong term, but I'm glad that it was nothing. You have one of those disability notebooks, right? I envy you.
What?
Having one is pretty convenient, right?
Well, I don't know if I could call it convenient. It's more like I have to rely on it.
You get reduced taxes for having it, right? You must save so much money. I'm healthy, so I'm afraid I won't be able to get one.
Being healthy is much better than one of these notebooks, trust me.
Well, I guess. But you don't really look disabled from the outside, Emily. You should be thankful that you're one of the luckier ones.
I've never thought about it that way.
No need to be so modest. You were probably able to get that husband of yours thanks to that notebook. Oh, it's time for me to take a bath. See you tomorrow then. Say hi to your Jacob and Sumi for me, will you? Thanks for helping me out at the gym, Jacob. It was my first time, so you were a real help.
I'm glad I was able to help. But who knew we went to the same gym? There are probably better gyms for women like you know. The place I go to is full of guys, you know.
Really? I love the atmosphere. It was so intense.
That's a good point, I guess. Even a professional boxer goes to that gym, apparently.
Really? It seems I chose a really good gym to go to then. But I still don't understand how you use all that equipment. So teach me if we meet again, will you?
Got it. But it'd be much easier if you asked the trainer to teach you, not me.
I guess that's true. But it's much easier to talk to an acquaintance. By the way, how's Emily?
Emily? The usual, I guess.
I see. You see, there's something I wanted to talk to you about work, Jacob. Don't tell Emily about this, okay? Emily's attitude at work is pretty bad recently.
What?
Oh, it's not like she's doing it on purpose, I think. But she's deaf and all, right? The other employees know this already, but she's kind of just ignores the other people at work.
Is this true? Emily is such a kind and sensitive person, you know.
I know she is. But not everyone agrees. There's some people who think she's just being cold for just ignoring them. I'm doing my best to support her, but...
Thanks for that.
It's nothing, as long as Emily doesn't notice it.
But Emily should really know about what the other employees think of her.
Hold on. This is a workplace problem, so I'll try to do something about it first. If I can't take care of it, then I'll ask you to cooperate, okay?
Got it.
You shouldn't worry too much either. You can always talk to me if there's something on your mind, alright?
Yes, thanks for that. But the gesture is enough.
Come on, you're pretty busy, right? I'm not just Emily's colleague, but I'm her friend as well, alright? It's alright if you depend on me too, you know.
Got it. Well, I'm almost home, so...
Okay, see you later then, Jacob.
There's something I want to talk to you about, Kimberly. Do you have time?
What is it?
I heard from Jacob that you two have exchanged contact information, but, well, how do I put this? You and Jacob have been texting each other frequently, haven't you?
Frequently? Well, I guess, maybe. We go to the same gym, so there are lots of things I want to ask him. I've never actually worked out before, so...
That's fine, but what about you inviting Jacob to go out somewhere?
What? I can't? It's not like a date or anything. I just thought that we could go and buy some training wear together. Aren't you exaggerating a bit?
Really? I just thought that one usually doesn't invite a married man to go shopping like that, especially if you know he's my husband.
What? You're so mean. I'm doing this precisely because you're my friend. Don't you trust me?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I won't be able to trust you anymore if you keep texting my husband and inviting him to go shopping like that.
Huh? I'm the only one who's wrong here? What about your husband Jacob, who always replies to my texts?
I don't really want to tell you this, but Jacob says that he's having a hard time with you as well. He says that he can't just ignore you because you're my friend. He also said that he keeps saying that he won't meet if it's just the two of you, but you keep ignoring what he says.
Oh, so that's what he's telling you. But I don't think that's what he actually thinks, you know? He looks like he's having so much fun talking to me at the gym. Maybe it's because communicating with you is so difficult.
I'm pretty sure that Jacob and I understand each other much more than you and I do. Besides, I kind of feel that your attitude towards me is pretty cold recently. Not just when it's about Jacob, too. You ignore me sometimes at work, don't you? Did I do something to offend you?
What? Don't just ignore people all the time as well because you can't hear. You're saying that you can't ignore me, but I can't ignore you.
But that's because I'm deaf? I don't mean to ignore you.
It's the same with me. It's not like I mean to ignore you. Anyways, I think it's a bit unfair of you to call me out on Jacob's conversations. I got you permission today, remember?
My permission?
Did you understand what I said yesterday?
Did you say something to me yesterday?
What? You didn't hear me? Sorry, I said it out loud, so you might have not heard. I said that I would be having your husband. Then you nodded, remember?
What? I thought you asked me to check the designs.
Yeah, that's what I told you. It seems like you didn't hear me, but you did nod. I'm not the one who's wrong, right?
But what happened to you, Kimberly? You were so nice at first.
What? I was making fun of you from the start, remember? But you couldn't hear any of it, which was pretty hilarious.
Really?
I heard you were finally able to find a job after being rejected by so many places for being deaf. I remember thinking to myself, oh, that's so sad. But when I found out you had a handsome husband with a high-paying job, I was pretty pissed. Here I am working my ass off while you can take it easy thanks to that disability notebook of yours. Makes no sense, right?
It's not like I wanted to be born deaf, you know?
You say that, sure, but you are glad we were, aren't you? Since at the end of the day, we were able to find a good living thanks to it. Who knows if that'll last though, right? It seems Jacob prefers a healthy woman like me over a disabled person like you know. Maybe he's telling you that he's just trying his best not to cheat on you with me, but judging by his replies, that's not what's actually on his mind.
You called yourself a useless wretch when we first met, right?
Huh? What's the matter with you suddenly?
I couldn't stand by watching anymore, so I had Emily give me her phone.
What? Is this really you, Jacob?
Yes, I'm afraid it is. You've got some nerve treating my wife like that.
What? But I only told her the truth. You'd prefer if your wife was someone who could actually hear like me, right? Not a deaf person like Emily.
You must have things completely wrong. No, I wouldn't prefer to have you as my wife over Emily. And it has nothing to do with being able to hear or not. For me, it's either Emily or nobody. And as she already told you, I was actually a bit puzzled as how to reply to you. You keep asking me the same thing over and over. At one point, I was even worried you had some sort of memory disorder. And the only thing you would talk about was how bad Emily's attitude was at work. To be honest, I didn't want to hear a word of it. But it's not like I believed anything you said, I didn't. Please don't talk to me or my wife ever again, will you? You're nothing but a nuisance, to be honest. Don't talk to Emily about anything other than work.
What? Why? You look so happy talking to me.
That's because I thought you were Emily's friend and colleague at work. I was just smiling to be polite. I was never interested in you, even for a moment.
Oh, I see. You're the type of person who can only love to flog people like her, aren't you? I've heard some people like you are like that. Oh, it's kind of sad, really.
Can you not insult us any further, please? Just hearing or seeing the things you say makes my head hurt. Oh, and I really didn't want to say this, but the only reason you came to that gym was because I was there, right? I don't know if you heard from Emily the places I usually visit or not, but you always seem to just accidentally bump into me. It was pretty creepy, to be honest. Just the other day I was headed to the cafe I always go to, but then I saw you looking through the glass trying to see if I was there, so I managed to escape.
What? Get over yourself, will you?
That's what I thought you would say, which is why I didn't say anything until now. And I'm sorry, but you're nothing compared to Emily. You have a twisted personality, enjoying hurting others, and can only act for yourself. You say that Emily's disabled, and yeah, sure, she's deaf. But you've got something wrong with you on the inside, which is, in my opinion, way more serious.
What? I'm not the one who's disabled. And here I was willing to marry you. You really are an idiot. Go ahead and live with that burden of yours your whole life.
Marry me? When did I say I was interested? If you say that Emily's a burden, then what, may I ask, are you? Garbage or something?
Why you? Do you understand how Emily's going to be treated at the workplace now that you've made me mad? I'm a full-time employee while your wife's just a part-time. You know has more authority, right?
On the occasion that the other employees happen to side with you, Emily will quit working there. There's no point working in such a rotten company. Besides, I always did tell her that she should find a job where she can work from home. You're her colleague, right? Then you must know how fast Emily is when it comes to work. Actually, go ahead. Show the company our conversations. But it's obvious, right? We've got to do something to defend ourselves when there's someone like you around. I don't want Emily to work anywhere near you, if possible as well.
Just hold on a minute. You're going to report this to the company? Aren't you kind of over-exaggerating?
What? Aren't you the one who suggested telling everyone about what happened? Didn't you say about how the others at the company would treat Emily once they found out? That was a threat, right?
No, that's not what I meant, you see. Just don't report it to the company, will you?
What? Why not? Just what exactly did you mean when you said that, then? Anyways, you stalking me and insulting my wife is enough reason. I won't forgive this. I'm even considering fining you for defamation.
No, don't. Please.
I can't decide on my own, so I'll have to talk about it with Emily first, though. I recommend going over your past actions. Oops, sorry, maybe you're too stupid to do so. Sorry for being so impolite. I'm not really good with all that politically correct stuff, you know. Don't get mad, alright? I didn't mean to insult you. Emily, you alright? What's Kimberly like?
Actually, it seems she's not here today. Yesterday must have been pretty shocking for her, huh?
What? You're the one who were insulted by her, not the other way around. What's her deal?
I guess. I was kind of shocked and mad at the same time, but I was worried that what Kimberly said about me not being liked by my colleagues was true. So I talked with my boss today and...
It was a lie, right?
Yeah, it seems so. My boss talks a lot with his employees, but apparently he's never heard anything about it. People were actually praising me, it seems.
That's what I expected. And did you talk to him about what happened with Kimberly?
Yep, I was a bit hesitant at first, though. But my boss seemed to notice that something was wrong and told me to tell him if something happened. So I told him about yesterday and how Kimberly was stalking you. He said he'll talk to Kimberly about it too, before he does something about it.
I see. I'm glad he listened to what you had to say.
Yep, although he didn't tell me personally that he couldn't forgive the text Kimberly sent me though. Those were pretty mean, huh?
I definitely don't want to forgive her. You're being too nice on her, Emily.
Yeah, but for some reason I can't feel completely mad towards her. I mean, it's to be expected that there are going to be some people who think of me as Kimberly does. I know, I cause you a lot of trouble because I can't hear too.
Not once did I consider being with you a burden, Emily. I can't say the same for Kimberly, on the other hand, though. What she did was just wrong. You're not the one who did the wrong thing, Emily. Don't get that mixed up.
Thanks. I just sometimes think that something like this wouldn't have happened if only I were normal. Sorry, I guess I'm in a self-deprecating mood.
So you're saying that you're not normal?
Oh, well, yeah.
You look pretty normal to me, you know. Not once did I think you were strange. Not being able to hear is just one part of your identity, I think. Like how I can hear, but I'm terrible at running, right? I always lose you in races.
I guess.
Everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses. Of course, I do understand what you want to say. You're talking about how people in general can hear, but you can't, right?
Yep.
But there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's the same with any other disability from birth or from an accident. I know it must be hard having to deal with that reality, but... That's not what's important with people, right? What's important is what's on the inside. That's why I was attracted to you in the first place, Emily. I mean, you are pretty hot too, I guess.
Which one is it?
Everything, really. I love everything about you, Emily. I'm pretty sure that even if we're reborn, that I'll still manage to find you and fall in love with you. That's how much I love you.
I get it already. I'm at work, so stop making me blush.
Sorry, but it's true, you know.
Yep.
Anyways, make me curry for dinner, okay? It's my favorite.
Got it. Thanks again, Jacob. I'm so happy to be with you. Kimberly began coming to work again the day after that. It was fine until there, but... Apparently, she thought I had told no one about the incident and started spreading rumors about me. Our boss caught her doing it and she was given a strict caution for what she did. Of course, our boss told everyone that had heard her rumors what had actually happened. But this caused everyone in the workplace to find out what Kimberly did to me, and in the end, no one would talk to her anymore. I heard this later on, but apparently she was the type to not do her work and didn't even have much trust to begin with. She couldn't put up with the new environment and quit after 1 week to return to her parents' house. I was relieved she left, but later on, it was found that there had been a robbery at the workplace. The culprit was Kimberly, of course. Apparently, she stole a bunch of laptops and hard drives before she left. The company is currently in the process of suing her for the theft. The company doesn't want to be too hard on her and is trying to settle things with her privately, but apparently, she now also hates the company, which chose me over her and is refusing payment. I heard that the police will have to get involved if she continues to refuse. Some people refuse to go down without a fight, but Kimberly just seems to keep digging holes for herself to fall into. I've been scolded unfairly for not being able to hear many times in my life, but Kimberly is by far the worst. But kind people like Jacob and my colleagues are much more common. So I'll live life from now, grateful to have met such people.
I just got done listening to my parents about their plans for the end of the year and everything.
Hey, Zach.
It sounds like the both of them will be going away to a ski resort for a bit, so they've asked if we can change our plans to match theirs.
Oh, is that so?
They seem to have forgotten about all of the things we talked about before with them.
Wow. Well, if that's the case, I had planned on going back to my family's house for a bit, but now I guess that I can just stay here at home. Or we can go with them. Do you think one of those two options is a good choice?
Well, if that's what you'd want to do, I think it's better to leave things to me.
What?
While I was on the phone with my parents a second ago, my little sister Sammy came inside, and I was able to hear from her for a little bit. She was going on about how her and her husband would be going to Hawaii for the end of the year and stuff like that.
Wait, they're going to Hawaii?
They got married instantly and never had a chance to have a wedding put together, so they thought that now would be the best time to celebrate a sort of honeymoon.
Hold on a sec. Sammy only just had her baby 3 months ago and they're already wanting to go to Hawaii?
I can see why you'd be a bit worried about what'll happen with their baby.
Well, of course. I mean, she just had that baby a few months ago and things were finally getting to the stage where they'd have to be with the baby a lot as it starts to grow. So what do they think they're doing now, going all the way out to Hawaii?
You don't have to worry about that. I made a deal with them that we'd take their baby while the two of them go enjoy Hawaii. So, have fun with the baby.
Huh? What did you mean by that last part?
You're looking after our niece while her parents are away. That's why I said that in a please and thank you sort of way.
Huh?
And the baby'll be coming to our place tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
My sister's husband gets a very long vacation during the holidays every year, which means that they will be in Hawaii for some time. So they want to be out of here tomorrow, the first day he has off from work.
Wait. I get that she's our niece, but she's a newborn, and as someone who has never taken care of a baby before, I have no idea of what to do. Why would you even make a deal like that without asking me first?
What? What's gotten into you, Everly? Don't you really love kids?
Yeah, I freaking love kids, but being around them for fun and having to actually take care of them as a parent are completely different things.
But it'll be good practice for you, right?
Stop saying crap like that, please. That is not the way to be looking at something like that. I get that it might be good practice for some people, but I'm not even going to get the chance to prepare for what is quite literally a newborn baby that I've never even met before. And even before this started, you knew about how I'd be going back to my parents' house for the first time in 2 years to finally spend some time with them.
But I already made this deal with them.
You should have known the moment they asked that you had to say no, Zach.
But come on!
No, none of those buts from you. What I'm saying to you is that it's going to be impossible for me to take care of a 3-month-old baby when I have no time to prepare for her.
But the thing is, I have work to go to still, and since I've already gone and made this deal, the only one who can watch the baby is you, Everly.
I also have work to go to. Every dang year, I have to work until the 29th and only have 1 day off for Christmas before getting 3 off for the new year.
What?
I still have plenty of days before I get time off.
Crap. I never really put any thought into your schedule.
Yeah, no duh. This is literally the busiest time of the year at this company, so I can't get a single day off besides the holidays. So since you were the one that made that deal with your sister, you're going to figure something out. Please.
What? Are you sure you can't do something to help me out here?
No!
But...
Don't even bother me anymore. I'm done talking with you for today.
Come on now, Everly.
Addie, do you mind if I talk with you a sec? I have something very serious and urgent to talk to you about.
Hello, Everly.
What's going on that's so important? It seems that starting tomorrow, my sister-in-law is heading away with her husband for the holidays and leaving their daughter with us.
Huh? When you say your sister-in-law, you're talking about Sammy, right? And didn't she just have her first baby 3 months ago?
Wait, what you're saying is that she's leaving you and Zach with their 3-month-old newborn baby? Yeah. My husband was an idiot and made a deal with them without even talking to me first. And Sammy's going with her husband to Hawaii for a little while, and this will all be happening tomorrow.
Huh?
Then, right after telling me that, my husband started to go on about how he'd still have to work, and told me that I'd have to take care of our newborn niece alone. Even though he knows about the fact that I have to work up until the 29th and can't take any days off. How dare he make me take care of a newborn baby that I've never had any experience with after making a deal like that? I told him already that it wasn't happening, but he seemed so out of it that I'm not sure if he understood what I meant. Everly, have you made it home from work yet? No, I've stopped at a cafe for a bit to think. Everly, I think starting today, it's better that you don't go home. What? Based on what you've already told me, it doesn't seem like Zach is going to take no for an answer from you. You understand? You don't think so? I have this gut feeling that there is something more going on behind the scenes, and that those three will do everything to make sure you're stuck with the baby. Like bringing her over tonight and leaving you in charge? What? Hasn't Sammy always been the kind of girl where if things don't go exactly the way she planned them, she throws a fit and starts to ruin everyone else's time? I don't want to think she'd act as childishly when it comes to her own daughter, but based off her track record, I just have this really bad feeling that she's going to force you, one way or another, to take care of her kid while she runs off to Hawaii with her husband. That makes sense, actually. Then, how about you head over to my house? Is that all right with you? I think that even for a little bit, you should come here and wait to see what happens. Anyway, can you start heading over here after you're done at the cafe? If Zach starts to ask where you're at, tell him you went to your older sister's house to talk about some things regarding the end of the year and such. Sounds good. I'm going to start heading to your place right now.
Everly? Hey! Where the heck are you right now?
I've gone over to my older sister's place that she moved into not too long ago.
What?
And I was just about to start texting you when you began to call me.
Why did you go to your older sister's place?
I wanted to talk with her about the plans we both had to head back to my parents' house at the end of the year. I wanted to see if it'd be all right if I rode with her down to my parents' place. She then asked me to come on over so that we could talk more about it and some other things relating to the holidays.
So does that mean you're going back to your parents' place then?
I am.
That's not good for me!
What are you talking about? I told you about these plans a long time ago. Back in October, I think.
I know, but if you leave, then what am I going to do, with this?
With what? What is this that you're talking about?
Oh,
Hey, Zach. I know I shouldn't be asking this, but did Sammy come over to the house one day early, forcing her baby onto you so that they could leave bright and early tomorrow?
Actually...
I knew that was going to be the case.
Well, if you knew, then why didn't you come home right away? Come on now, and tell your family you're not going back to their house now.
Well, good luck taking care of a 3-month-old on your own.
Uh-huh?
I told you that I wasn't taking care of that baby, right? I have had plans for 3 months now to go back to my parents' house for the end of the year.
But don't you still have work you need to take care of?
I just called with my boss a little bit ago, and he said it would be totally fine for me to work remotely for the last few days of this year, so I could go home to see my parents. I just have to go in tomorrow and get my laptop from my desk, and I'll be good.
So you're gonna make me take care of this newborn all on my own now? It's times like these right here where you should be at home with your husband helping out with the family.
All I noticed was you thinking you could get away with shoving your niece onto me after not even talking with me about this first.
What?
I have never ever, not once in my life, taken care of a newborn baby, Zach. I'm sure for some gosh dang reason, you were thinking that because someday we'd be having a kid or two, that forcing me to take care of your sister's baby would be a good learning experience for me. But here's the thing. What if me, being someone who has never ever dealt with babies before in my life, were to end up having an emergency with the baby? What would happen then? That would not be good for me, right? Are you telling me you thought it would be a good thing, a safe thing? Leaving someone with no parenting experience at all to take care of a newborn baby? Over any of the countless other options your sister had? I think you going and making that deal with your sister goes to show that you don't care about the baby.
But hold on, if we didn't take the baby, then my sister's trip to Hawaii...
Who the hell cares about her vacation? After all the things your annoying little sister has done to us, you damn well should have known that by taking her baby this time, she'd begin to think it's okay to depend on us all the time. I knew the moment you brought that deal you made up that things would start to go downhill, and that's why I'm heading home to my parents' house early now. I told you no. So no matter what you have to say to me, it's no. Addie, sorry for wanting to talk while you're out. I just got some scary news from one of the neighbors back near my house. Huh? What happened? What news did they give you? That bastard Zach. He brought another woman home with him to stay the night at our house. Huh? I'm going to assume that he's making her take care of our niece now as well. And from what my neighbor overheard, he was saying things about how I left him to hide at my parents' house and that he was forced to be all alone with his sister's baby. I spoke with my neighbor before about how Zach was trying to leave me with our niece so that his sister could go to Hawaii with her husband. So you're telling me Zach is desperate to find a way out of his own responsibility? Yeah, and I made sure my neighbor sent me some photos as proof for all that's going on there. I think the girl he brought home with him is one of his coworkers. And since this happens to be a 3-month-old newborn we're talking about here, he had to find someone who's had that same experience from his work, right? There are plenty of people who work with Zach that have already had kids before and know how to deal with them. So it would be really hard for me to pinpoint who exactly this woman is that he's been working with. I'm sure. Sammy and her husband will be getting back home on the 7th, right? Yeah, that's the plan that I heard. Well, this is a little... I think before her and her husband get home, we're going to have to collect more evidence of what's going on with Zach at your house. Hey, Zach. I know I'm really late with this, but Happy New Year. Ever since you started to take care of our niece, we haven't really communicated much, but how have things been going with her?
What the hell? So now, of all times, you're finally going to start talking to me again?
I felt that it should have been you who texted me first, considering the situation you put yourself in, and that's why I never sent you anything. But today is the day Sammy and her husband come home from Hawaii, so I thought it would be time for me to contact you again.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you're just wanting to know about the baby, I've been having to take care of her this whole entire time.
Are you sure?
To be honest, it was a lot more easy than I thought.
So you've been at home all by yourself taking care of our 3-month-old niece?
I mean, look, there wasn't anyone else I could have counted on to take care of her with me, so what do you think?
I kind of assumed that your mom and dad would have canceled their trip to that ski resort in order to come and help you out a bit. But after talking with them, they didn't even know that Sammy and her husband were going to Hawaii for the holidays.
That's what it sounds like. Sammy said that she didn't want to worry either of them, so she wanted to keep her trip a secret from them and leave.
Interesting that she didn't want to worry her parents any with her trip to Hawaii, yet was totally okay with leaving her newborn in the hands of people who have had zero experience with kids.
But this whole time I've taken care of the baby with no problem at all. In other words, this means that you have become too prudent.
Oh? Then could you tell me who this female is in all these photos I'm holding on to right now?
Female in those photos?
Yep. I have photos of her going into our house and also leaving our house. I've had someone I stayed in touch with this whole time feeding me info about what's been going on there and gathering evidence for me. This female, is she not the same woman you've been working with for a while now? Andrea?
What?
She's that same woman that would bring you home sometimes from those dinners you'd have for work where you'd get too drunk to drive, right? I kind of remembered her from somewhere. So perhaps whenever she'd come to the door with you wrapped in her arms as she carried your drunk ass inside, she was saying that she could become your wife for any reason?
What? No, wait. Andrea is... She knew about how I was having to take care of our newborn niece all alone, so she was just coming over for a little bit to give me a hand was all, okay?
When you say for a little bit, do you mean that she's been at the house for the past 10 days straight, staying the night with you while also having to take care of the baby girl? From what I've heard about Andrea, she ended up losing her husband in a divorce because she's been cheating on him. And in that divorce, she lost custody of her kids, right? I suppose since she actually has the experience with young babies, She's a better option than someone with no experience whatsoever. But bringing in the woman that you've been cheating on me with to take care of your sister's baby?
No, wait, Andrea is not that kind of woman to me.
Listen here, Zach. I've already figured everything out with the help of some professional people.
What?
And in order to catch you cheating on me today, I have everyone outside the door of our house waiting for you, right now.
Everyone?
Both of your parents, as well as both of my parents, my older sister, and Andrea's parents as well.
What?
I can tell that the both of you put the baby to bed and are now using this moment to sleep in our bedroom together while you have downtime, right?
Huh?
I have an app on my phone where I can watch the camera in our house.
A camera?
I actually came home after learning you were cheating on me while you were at work and Andrea took the baby on a walk. And during that little bit of time, I placed a camera in our room to watch and see what all happened. And sure enough, I've seen more than I wished to see of Andrea in our bed.
What?
Now, we're all going to be coming inside.
No! Please!
And with that, on the day my sister-in-law and her husband were coming home from Hawaii, the rest of the family and I raided my house to find my husband with another woman. When Sammy and her husband did show up, they were both furious to learn that Zach was using his secret woman to care for their daughter and was sleeping with her in our house. But Sammy and her husband weren't safe from the wrath of their parents, as both my mother-in-law and father-in-law took Zach, Sammy, and her husband with them back to their house. There they got the whooping of a lifetime before their dad told them that they were never going to be a part of his family again. As of right now, my in-laws have decided to take my niece from Sammy and care for her while everyone else figures out their problems. And as for myself, I made sure to divorce Zach on that day. And of course, I made sure to get a settlement from both him and Andrea for having cheated on me. Because of that, not only did the both of them go into some serious debt, but the news got around their office and both of them were forced to leave their jobs. Word of both Sammy and her husband being bad parents also circled around town and into their workplaces, and they too ended up leaving their jobs. Now, 4 new people have joined the ranks of poverty and are having to worry about basic needs like food and water instead of their baby or their niece. I've heard news that a little while after all of that went down, Zach and Andrea ended up getting married to try and make it easier for themselves to pay off their debt. But only a week after they got married, there was an accident and Andrea became pregnant with Zach's first child. I'm not sure how quickly they can both find new jobs and pay off their debts, but they'd better do all that soon before that baby comes into their lives. And as for Sammy and her husband, well, there hasn't been all that much news about them since they got disowned from both their families. And I think they ran off to go hide somewhere else. And of course, you might be asking what happened with me. I moved out of my ex's house the day after our divorce and to my sister's place where I could stay with her for a bit. Since she herself is single, we've come up with a plan to stay that way for the rest of our lives. Since I've already had a taste of the married life and my sister was never interested in the first place. I am a little bummed that I never got to have a kid of my own with anyone, but I'm still young, so who knows what about my thoughts will change and what kind of men I could run into next. The only thing I'm going to say, though, is that if the time does come that I really want to try again, that man better listen to me and listen well. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.